Tonight on Cosmic Cantina, we're screaming out into the heavens and asking for help. From whom, you ask? Only the goddamn Galactic Federation. What's going on with that whole planetary UN thing, and how do we join the club? With a recently declassified CIA document that attempted to remote view the group, we also explore other stories of contactees and psychic explorations. So lay back on your nearest stone altar for a sweet alien rubdown, because we're coming at you.
I'm your host, Melissa Tittle, and every week I go to my favorite bar, Cosmic Cantina, and kick back with my co-hosts, Josh Golembeski and Matt O'Connor. We talk about aliens, Bigfoot, ghosts, ancient cultures, and anything from the unseen world that needs a little illumination. Welcome to Cosmic Cantina. I'm your host, Melissa Tittle, and tonight I'm drinking some red wine because I'm classy. Matt, what you got?
Look, I found myself in a bit of a predicament tonight, guys. I'm going out of town in a couple of days, and I had nothing left in the fridge except for except for an old box of a little something called White Claw at the back of the fridge. It's been there since the beginning.
No.
The beginning of the year. It's been there. It's been there for a while. So I cracked one of these bad boys open, and let me tell you guys, I learned a little something about myself today.
Stop. What? That you can sacrifice your own morals?
Yeah. That I can drink White Claw and still be okay with myself.
Wow.
So
okay, cool.
Sometimes you do a little soul searching and drink White Claw. There you go.
I love the claw. Yeah. You could drink claw all day, and you're like, I'm just slightly buzzed, and then you fall off the boat, and you're like, maybe not.
I know. I'm on my second, and it's doing absolutely nothing.
So you think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it'll kick in soon. Yeah. What do you got, Josh?
I don't even know who you guys are anymore. I myself went to the store, and there was a bottle of wine, which I don't remember the name of, that was $16.99. It was marked down to $10, so I grabbed it right away. And the guy at the counter was like, I was like, is this any good? He's like, well, it's a good for a $10 bottle of wine, but it's kind of an okay 16. So I went with it. So I'm drinking an okay $16 bottle of wine.
Wow.
He was right.
He sold
it's okay.
you. I love he just sold you on that.
I love how you were.
It's like, meh.
He marked down the price to how much it really tastes, and then you were like, perfect.
Yeah,
good deal.
I respected it. It was all psychological. That's all it was.
Yeah. Wow. That silver-tongued salesman. Saw you coming. Yeah. Anyway,
well,
what are we doing?
We're going to talk about some, maybe not White Claws, but maybe some claws in space. Galactic Federation type claws, if you know what I'm saying.
The Galactic Federation. So hot right now. So popular.
Hot. But what is it? Everybody talks about it like the Galactic Federation, But does anybody really know?
It's like Star Trek.
No one's really... Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a place where a lot of people hang out, but they're socially distanced because they probably have COVID too. All right. So I'm going to not start...
COVID.
Yeah, space COVID. It's a thing. Because they didn't get... Never mind. I'm just going to leave it there. I'm just going to drop that. Okay. So I didn't pull an article, but we did find some CIA documents. Ooh, yeah. www.cia.gov library docs. There is a session summary, a remote viewing session, and it's dated January 13th, 1988, and it is a remote viewing session into the Galactic Federation.
Okay.
So we will definitely, again, put this on our site, and you can see the pictures. And I'm just
I actually found the full document. The one that was going around was like a couple of pages from it. Mm-hmm. But I have the full document that I'll post up. It's got all pictures and stuff in it that he drew.
Wow. I love it. Yeah. Amazing. Okay, so this is kind of cool. So I'm just going to read some things from it. Okay, here's some of the notes from the session. Impression of a round structure located on the flat top of what seems to be something like a mesa. There are striking rays emanating from or going into the structure like sun streaks. Inside the structure, it is dark, cool, rough, stone, cavern-like. From 1 mile overhead, the view is dark, black, empty, a feeling of nothingness. Upon descending, we get to the impression of a very high, rugged peaks. There's a flat plateau. Below this is a blue body of water that seems to be surrounded by a flat, open, grassy plain. From 2 miles up, I find myself moving up inclined causeway with rough stone walls on both sides. And he has Egypt here, so I'm thinking he's saying it's kind of like the causeway in Egypt from the second pyramid going down to the...
Yeah, so he has things in parentheses that it looks like he's likening it to something. It looks like Egypt. I guess with the lake, he said it looked like Lake Titicaca. He's just likening it to different things.
Okay. At this time, I sense a presence nearby. At the end of the causeway is a long, dimly lit rectangular corridor constructed of smooth, dressed stone on all sides. At the end of the corridor is a steep incline and a very high ceiling, also constructed of smooth stone, and then he puts pyramids. So that's pretty much what he's saying it kind of looks like.
Yeah.
I'm assuming with the Great Pyramid, that's about the smoothest. At the end of the incline corridor is a large room with a very high vaulted ceiling. There's a large polished stone platform in this room. It's like an altar, he says. There are white-robed entities in a semicircle. To one side, their attention seems to be focused on the platform. The room is dimly lit. There is a feeling of something sacred, holy, almost religious about this place. This place seems familiar, as if I've been there before. Climbed onto the platform and laid down. I was then illuminated by a brilliant shaft of white light from head to toe. The light was coming from overhead. The robed figures then moved from behind the group and came next to me with a hand outstretched over my solar plex. And that's all I have on this document, but maybe, Matt, you have more?
Yeah, so he gets his little holy hand job going on there. and it's kind of hard to read because there's like a print over the top, but he says that he came away from the session with a feeling that he should have remembered something, but he can't remember what it was.
That happens to me every day. I leave work and I'm like, there's something I should remember.
Yeah. Left the iron on. What was that?
I remember it 1 minute before I fall asleep and then don't.
Yeah.
Damn it. But I think what's interesting about this is when we think of the Galactic Federation, we have the same idea. We have this idea where there's this like stone chamber, and then there's like this half semicircle with all these creatures. I mean, I've seen it in movies, all this kind of stuff, right? But I had somebody, her name's Debbie Solaris, and we actually did not a regression, but she went and read all of our alien past lives. I don't know if you guys remember. This is like one of our first episodes. I think third episode or something.
Awesome. It was great. That was awesome. Yeah.
And we found out that Josh is like a baby in the galaxy, but Matt and I are super old. We've been around for a long time.
Old souls. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
We're Lyrans and Andromedas, and Josh is like a Syrian or something.
I'm a Syrian. Yep. I'm a bald ass Syrian. Makes sense.
Surely you can't be Syrian.
Hey!
Dad joke.
Call me Shirley.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what's happening, but I feel like I'm getting made fun of. Right.
No, you're not. I love you. So I did an interview with her because I was like, but what is the Galactic Council? Like, everybody has these ideas of what it looks like. And this was a really interesting document, and I know we're going to post the full thing so you can analyze it yourself. But obviously, the U.S. government has been trying to locate it for quite some time. They either know of its existence, or the Galactic Federation has tried to reach out to them, and they're trying to make more contact. That's cool. This was a really interesting conversation. So here's the interview I had with Debbie Solaris. Thank you, Debbie, for joining us on the show. Let's get right to it. So I sent you a handwritten session note from a CIA website where somebody was remote viewing in 1988. What they said was the Galactic Federation. What did you think of that?
I did read that. I think it was kind of interesting. The description of the location seems like the interior of a starship to me. And it seemed like one of the healing pods, because they were describing like this person in some sort of a flat, what they called it, a mesa, I guess, a flat mesa. And there was other beings, kind of surrounding this mesa, but there was, like a body that was laying on the mesa itself. And a lot of times that's indicative of a healing pod of some sort.
Oh, interesting.
But the thing is, in the news right now, there's a lot of talk about the Galactic Federation. But what is the Galactic Federation? Could you tell us what it is and where they're at?
Yes, I can. The Galactic Federation was an alliance of benevolent beings that actually I think was compiled probably right after the Lyran Draconian Wars, which occurred millions and millions of years ago. So the Galactic Federation is actually 4.5 million years old, at least. I mean, I would say maybe even older. But and then there were certain star races that decided to join the Federation, and the Federation was established in order to maintain peace and unity within the galaxy, because they didn't want to see another Lyra catastrophe occur. So it was kind of to establish to keep the negative forces at bay, to keep them from overtaking the entire galaxy.
Interesting. Okay, so the Galactic Federation is made up of what races or what alien groups? I
read someplace that it was 200,000 races, which is even more than the typical races we normally hear about. But so there's quite a few of them. But I would say members of the Galactic Federation include the benevolent factions from Pleiades, Sirius, Arcturus, Orion, Procyon, and Polaris, Andromeda, obviously, and Lyra and Vega, and quite a few of the races that we oftentimes hear about. I would say about at least 50% of them are probably humanoid races. I mean, probably the majority of them are maybe even more than 50%. But so these are, race, beings that are, humanoid in nature or have a humanoid look to them. But there's also other sentient beings that are not necessarily humanoid that are also a member of the Galactic Federation.
And there's so much talk in the news about, especially with the Israeli guy who came out and said that, yes, there's a Galactic Federation and we are in touch with them. In all of the work that you've done, are the governments of the world in touch with the Galactic Federation? And if so, why?
I would say the Galactic Federation, they have a code of non-interference. So they really can't interfere with the doings of Earth or the machinations of Earth. But if there's a group that reaches out to them, then, and asks for assistance, and yes, they will be in contact, with certain governments. My understanding is that I think they have reached out to various governments throughout our planet, particularly the U.S. and Russia. And I've heard other groups as well, like Japan and other benevolent countries throughout our planet. But a lot of times they will reach out to assist these governments, but it's up to the government to decide if they want to receive assistance from them.
So that's interesting. So they reach out, they make contact, meaning whoever is a representative of the Galactic Federation reaches out and says, "Do you want our help?" How is that done? Do they in their backyard? Like, how does it work?
I'm not entirely sure how they reach out. My guess is, maybe some of these governmental groups must have certain individuals, either remote viewers or psychics that work within these groups that are able to receive messages from these beings. Because I don't think they would just contact us, say, through an email or a letter. That's kind of old school. But I do think.
But you're saying maybe in the government they have people who can communicate with these other dimensional beings, and those people become kind of this information highway to the Galactic Federation.
Exactly. Yeah. So that would be people who have probably had prior